But Bradley Martyn was the first fitness influencer to reach 10,000 Instagram followers, which think about that.
No way.
Yeah. He just opened a brand new gym, which is like twice as big in Encino. Just thousands of people waiting outside just to get inside, check it out, meet some of their favorite social media people.
Influencers coming out with products that really match who they are, like their DNA. Because then it's so easy because you built the brand around a certain topic and then you come out with that product that really is what you're all about, and the stuff just sells like hotcakes. Like there's no need to sell it. People are already like sold. What's going on? Welcome back to Dreams Life Can Buy. My name's Tommy Jordan. That's Darren Kriz, and we're back with another exciting episode for you today. How you doing, Darren? What's happening?
Oh, a lot's happening, A lot is always happening. It's another new week. Finally, the rain has cleared here in LA. It's been pretty damp, but, we're grateful for the rain because normally it's pretty dry out here. But, now we're thriving. It's been productive just staying in with the rain. But now it's time to get back outside and get going in life. This is California, after all, so we gotta enjoy the sunshine. But how we doing? How we doing?
It's good, man. I just had a thought, it's like without those rainy seasons, nothing would grow.
Wow.
And without the rainy seasons in our life, nothing would grow.
I need to get a poster of that in my office right here.
I'm not trying to be I don't know, what are Maxism? So what do they say? When you just say a saying, is it Maxis?
I don't know, but whatever it is,
my wife always
inspirational. And and that's why, you have the Gospel of Tommy, because you got all these life advice, life quotes right there. It's beautiful.
Yes. Okay. I gotta say this because my wife always says, I always use words wrong or whatever. She's smarter than me, so she checks me. A maxim, a usually pithy and familiar statement expressing an observation or principle generally accepted as wise or true. And I thought of that. Sorry, go, Darren.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I will accept that as very wise and true coming from you. It's nice.
Because I was before we started this video, we were just talking about life. And obviously, because of our real estate businesses, we're blessed to be able to be full-time content creators and make this podcast that makes no money just because we love doing it. And we love learning with you guys and learning what's happening in social media. But a lot of times, I forget that a lot of the growth happens in our life during these rainy seasons and not always that mountaintop kind of moment. The rainy seasons lead to the mountaintops, but if you just quit, you never get to the mountaintop. I don't know. I just had a thought.
No, I mean, if you never had those downfalls, what fun are the successes? I tell people this all the time. It's just in life in general, as an entrepreneur, even if you're working a 9 to 5, you have to have down days to have good days. You always have to have days where you're not feeling great. That's just what makes us human beings,
Totally.
If you're just super satisfied every day, everything's going your way, you're on top, then you aren't really, because what even is the top when you've never experienced the bottom? So
dude, 1,000%. How do you know what's dark if there's no light? There has to be. I was looking through my camera roll. I don't even know if I could find it, but I heard a good saying like this. But it reminds me, you actually over this weekend, because we're obsessed about content creation, guys. You don't even know. Day and night, we're always looking at our For You pages on TikTok, looking at our reels, looking at shorts, seeing what people are doing. And he saw a funny video, and it was these two creators. We don't have to name them. I mean, it doesn't matter. But they were talking about, I love it when my posts do terrible. And we're do you really? You know what I mean? What?
Yeah, exactly. I know. So I did hear someone say that, but it's I mean, you don't really. It's they're trying to encourage people to keep posting, even though they have posts that aren't getting many views or engagement. But in reality, you like to see when your posts do great. And that's also coming from people that are already killing it, got millions of followers, doing all that. So if they have a bad post, that's rare for them because all their posts are normally blowing up. And it's also when you hear people say that they are they really even though this kind of goes back and forth, but you do have to appreciate the journey when you're on your way to the top, because also what even is it? There is no top necessarily. There is no like top of the success chain, because anyone like you think of big artists like Drake or someone, let's say, who could have quit years and years ago on the top, but they just have this passion and motivation to keep going because they love the grind, they love the journey. You have to love the everyday grind, even when you're just starting out, when you have no views, no money. You have to just cherish every day, stay in the present, which is like one thing that I'm trying to do this year more, is just focus every day on just being present in that moment and getting what you need to get done that day, but also living fully in that moment and not just thinking about the future all the time, you know, which is important. But, you know, people that are already at the top, they always say, oh, I was I was the happiest when I was down at the bottom starting my journey. But then you'll realize that that's only coming from people that are actually already at the top. Obviously, you need to get there first. But then when you look back on the bottom, it was obviously a great time because you didn't know. There was still an unknowing that you would get there. But then when you're there, looking back, it's always a great thing to see. But, you know, just kind of rambling here, but.
No, it's good. It's very like yin yang. It's like that healthy discontentment. You know, where like if you're discontent in general, that's not a good thing because there's always something to be grateful for in life. But you got to have a healthy discontentment where you're like, you know, I'm happy with where I'm at, but I'm always striving to do better. In each post, I'm trying to do better. And if a post bombs, okay, what can I learn from that and keep going? Because if you're just like a pig in mud, satisfied, like you're never going to leave the mud. You got to have some kind of vision, overall vision. But we do have some good stuff here for you today. One thing in particular is Zoo Culture launching a new gym, and Darren would be able to fill us in a little more. He's good at providing context to things. So tell us about Zoo Culture, Bradley, Martyn, and what we're going to be talking about. The overall topic is about using social media to build brands and then actually building like a community you know, with your brand, and then engaging. There's so many different, like, this is like a cake, so many layers with this. Not only building that brand and like launching a product or something in physical realm outside the internet world, but I think Bradley Martyn does a really good job at engaging with his fans and building that culture. And Darren, educate us all, okay, about all of this and how we can learn to do something similar.
Exactly. Because overall, I mean, this talk is going to be talking about how important it is to build a brand no matter what niche you're in to actually grow businesses. And that's what we do with real estate, making content to grow our real estate business. And so Bradley Martyn, he is this social media influencer, YouTuber, who was actually the first fitness influencer, because now you'll look at Instagram, there's tons of fitness people on there, girls and guys. But Bradley Martyn was the first fitness influencer to reach 10,000 Instagram followers, which, think about that.
No way.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
So that's pretty cool. That was probably like 10, 12 years ago, but he does say that on podcasts. And so now he has this gym in Woodland Hills called Zoo Culture. It's in the southern part of the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. And it was a small gym. I actually was a member there because I grew up in the Valley. I was a member there for about 6 months a few years ago, which was incredible. It was cool to see a lot of cool, even though everyone in there is just like super jacked, like gym bros. Everyone's super nice, and it's a cool vibe, a great environment to be in if you wanna work hard and lift every day. But the more ripped people are and the more fit, usually they're nicer if you're like totally out of shape. Actually, they are. And some people are intimidated by going to gyms like that because they'll think they'll get made fun of if they're not like someone that's into working out, but which is actually the opposite. People are very encouraging to help other people that aren't used to working out like that. All those gym bros, the big guys, like Bradley Martyn, one of the nicest guys. And if you follow him, you'll see that as well, just from listening to a couple podcasts, how actually like nice and genuine he is, and that's how he is in person too. But so he started this gym just, with his YouTube channel blowing up, doing fitness stuff, just doing vlogs at the gym, showing how to work out. This was like 10 years ago. Opened this gym in Zoo Culture. I don't know when exactly, maybe 2015 or so. This gym in Woodland Hills, and then. So, fast forward, he's made a lot of money through social media. He does a lot of collabs with like the Nelk Boys, Full Send, and all that. He's on their podcast full time now, but he just opened a brand new gym, which is like twice as big in Encino, just down the street, like 10, 15 minutes away. And last week, they just had their grand opening, where he basically marketed it to all these other influencers, had them all come, and then just blasted it everywhere on his YouTube, on Instagram, and it was a pouring rainy day on Saturday. I was going to go. If it wasn't pouring rain, I would have gone as well. But there was thousands of people waiting. I saw a ton of videos, and I know a bunch of people that went too. Thousands of people waiting outside just to get inside, check it out, meet some of their favorite social media people, see what it was all about. And he built this entire business just through content in the fitness space. And he's really changing the game in that niche where people like him for him. But if you think about it, that's got to be the biggest gym in probably the whole LA County. If you really think of it, I'm sure he's doing more revenue than like these classic 24-hour fitnesses, LA fitnesses, and that's all from one guy being a social media influencer making YouTube content. And now he's built this huge business, and his goal, I just listened to a podcast actually this morning where he was talking about his 2023 goals, and he was saying his goal is to open like another gym every year and a half somewhere else, to where he can just keep growing, make gyms all over the country, and just expand zoo culture to worldwide, I guess. But that's it's crazy how it's just all from content. He can make this much money to where you just expanding, and all he does is really just make content, makes money, puts it into this business, and it's awesome to see. And he's a great guy too, coming from a guy like him.
Dude, it's really genius. I mean, if you look at his Instagram now, his Instagram has 4.2 million followers.
That's insane for a fitness influencer.
That's insane. And the fact that he was one of the first on Instagram to reach 10,000.
He always claims that he was the first to hit 10,000.
That is really cool. And I'm actually scrolling through his YouTube channel right now, because how long have you been watching him on YouTube?
Not like crazy long, probably like since 2018 maybe.
Okay. Yeah, so for a little while.
Which I guess is like still 5 years now. Sheesh.
Yeah, still 5 years. Yeah, like life flies by. So he's been on YouTube, and I'm still scrolling, guys. He's been doing YouTube videos, long form pieces of content for over 8 years on YouTube. So actually 8 years was one of his very first videos. His first video, it's always interesting to see, like, because we see these end kind of results where like he has a gym and he's like super famous. But guys, his first video was 8 years ago, September 1st, 2014 on YouTube. And now he has 3 million subscribers on YouTube. But it's cool to see how he's used his social media to like, and we've spoken about this on previous podcasts, like the Nelk guys, whatever, they come out with like the hard seltzer kind of thing. Like Mr. Beast comes out with candy, like influencers coming out with products that really match who they are, like their DNA, because then it's so easy because you've built the brand around a certain topic, and then you come out with that product that really is what you're all about, and the stuff just sells like hotcakes. Like there's no need to sell it. People are already like sold. And I think that's like that's key. That's key to, I think a lot of times, we think about, building the business first, which if you already have a business going, then by all means, start using social media to get your business out there. But if you don't have a business yet, but you have a passion about a certain topic, start creating videos about that. And then honestly, build that brand to as big as you could possibly do it, and then come out with the product. I think that's really the right order to do it. And like, what is it to Gary Vee, the jab, jab, right hook? Yeah,
jab, 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 right hook, where it's just like offer value, offer value, offer value, and then eventually and ask for nothing. And then eventually, once you've already, you think you've served your time, then you go in for the ask, which is what he always says. Don't just like do one thing for someone and then ask for something from them right away. Just give, and then receive once the time is right.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing, and Darren could probably tell me more about this, it looks like just from Bradley, you know, once you start really creating content and you start building your influence in what do you call it? Like getting on other people's podcasts and collaborating and stuff. It looks like he's built up a lot of social currency, if you will, with other influencers. And he really utilized this to launch this gym, because I'll just tell you some of the people that were at this gym launch. And if you're into content creation, you'll probably know these people. And if not, they're people to check out, even if you're not interested at all what they do. But you could learn how they do it and apply those principles to doing what you're doing. I mean, Adam 22, Bryce Hall, I mean, George Janko, the curly Fook guy, you've seen him on TikTok. He has the curly hair. Lena the Plug, Joe Andrews. I mean, big people in the social media.
Ryan Garcia, Mike Malak,
Steve will do it, Steiny. I mean, so genius, man. And something really cool, because I'm not like, I mean, I go to the gym every morning and stuff, but I'm not like following along in like the whole gym culture or anything, and you might not either. But I found it really interesting, bro, because literally the other day I was on TikTok and I started seeing the zoo culture stuff all over. And I don't follow any fitness related stuff or anything like that. But a lot of their stuff started going viral on TikTok and it was being pushed out everywhere. And I saw like what's the trend twins, and then who's the blonde guy?
Alex Eubank. Yeah.
Alex Eubank. Okay. So these are really big influencers, younger guys, right? What would you say? Like in their teens
early
or
20s,
like early 20s? Okay.
Yeah, early 20s, these guys.
This Alex Eubank guy, 1.7 million followers on Instagram, and he has a big TikTok. So the really cool thing is like Bradley, since he is fitness, if you see him, he's freaking huge. He's jacked. Since he is what he's like launching, like he has relationships with all these other people within his niche, outside his niche. I mean, talk about like the power of networking to launch this gym, Darren, and get it out there.
I think Bradley really is one of those guys who benefited tremendously from collaborations. Like that's another reason why you'll see influencers move to LA is to collaborate with other influencers. Because even though it's like some people may think, oh, I don't want to get my followers over to that side or that side, whatever. There's enough people for everyone out there. And if they like you, they'll follow you. And Bradley really got big once I think his like whole partnership, or his not partnership, but like he's been doing videos with the Nelk Boys for like 3 years now. And since then, I think he's really gone into like he's got a much bigger audience outside of just the fitness space, to where they see him as like this really cool, chill guy, even though he's like super jacked and stuff. They look at him in a little bit of a different light than just some of these fitness gym bros, where Bradley is actually a personality. He's a personal brand instead of just this strong guy who can bench 500. And so I think he benefited hugely from doing these collabs, and now him and Steve will do it as a podcast. Who's like, Steve is really huge, and I mean, and then him bringing all these other influencers is a huge play, because they'll post about it. Their fans will get, I don't think there's really any downside to these collaborations in the space.
No, not at all. And I think that's one thing I notice with the content creators that are like more small-minded, especially with people in their same niche. And I'll tell you about experience I had. I was talking to Darren. I saw this guy. He's been doing really good on TikTok and in like the Christian gospel kind of space. And he, relatively quickly blew up on YouTube to millions of subs, right? But he had put in the work for years, really mastering short form content. So it wasn't like he was an overnight success, but if you look at YouTube, it was an overnight success, right? But he just understands short form content for my niche. So like I hit this guy up, right? And to put it in perspective, I think to talk to, because we're part of Creator Now, Airac's group for like content creation. You should check it out. You might not be able to join anymore because they were closing it. But did you look when they had Creator Now where you could like pay to talk to a mentor? I think Airac was like,
I don't know.
You should check it out.
Okay.
It's a new thing.
Really?
So,
oh, wow.
Bro, check it out. Hayden, the guy who does a lot of
I watch
editing.
all his videos. Yeah.
Yes, he's a master editor. Hayden. If you just type
Hayden,
in,
he was Logan Paul. He edited all of Logan Paul's vlogs when he was taken off. So he knows a lot about editing. Every time he posts anything, I watch.
So if you want to learn about editing, check out Hayden Hiller Smith. I mean, you'll find him immediately on YouTube. That will really step up your game for telling stories and editing. So to put it in perspective, like some of these guys on Creator Now were maybe like 1,000 for like an hour or 1,500, something like that. But these guys are the biggest creators in the world. So I spoke to this guy, messaged him on Instagram, and he seemed like chill enough. And then I was like, oh, I would love to hop on a call with you, maybe even be willing to pay for consulting, whatever. And then he's like, okay, message my assistant. I was like, okay, whatever. So I messaged his assistant, and then he the assistant messages me back, right? And this is a guy who has a small Instagram, doesn't have a TikTok anymore, and he just sort of blew up on YouTube, right? But not like the level of an Eric, Mr. Beast, right? And the guy was trying to charge me $2,500 to speak to him for 30 minutes. And I wanted to talk more even about just consulting, but maybe collabing, whatever, just to have a convo with him. But it's that it's just, and who knows, I don't know his motives and stuff, but I've seen this just with people in general. They if someone else is in their same niche, they look at them as competition. But guess what? If I have 500,000 followers and someone else does, we don't have all the same followers. So if we do a collab, I might pick up 100 from them. They might pick up 100 from me. It's a win-win. And you're just you just grow with other people. So that's something I just would want to say if anyone's creating content. If there's someone who's even, a little smaller than you or bigger than you, it doesn't matter, man. Someone like Bradley Martyn, just collab with people and don't do it with what can I get out of it? Because I bet you Bradley's helped a lot of these influencers that came that day where he did stuff for them for totally for free. And then when he goes around to do something, they have his back.
Yeah, I think collaborations is a big hack when it comes to trying to grow initially in the space too. There's I don't know if I talked about Caleb Simpson before, but he's starting to do these collabs with these big names, even though he shows apartments of random people in the area, and now he's collabing with these big influencers, celebrities, which obviously people will see this big celebrity on a short form video looking at their apartment, then they'll look into Caleb and see what he's doing. And if they like his stuff, they'll follow him. I mean, the collabs are great for anyone if you can figure out how to just get in the door with someone that has a name and a following. So that is one thing that you don't really need consulting for. You just got to figure out how to get these big guys in the videos, big names into the titles of your videos, and then you can eventually skyrocket as long as you do it consistently and have quality content over time.
It's a really good point. You don't have to pay for it. Darren's so right. And if you look at someone like Meet Kevin, he does financial kind of videos. When he first started, he did a lot of videos on this guy named Grant Cardone. You probably know it, real estate mogul. Yeah. 10X, big business entrepreneur guy. Check it out. Grant Cardone's a really cool guy. So is Meet Kevin. But he did a lot of videos that were skeptical about Grant, maybe questioning Grant on the things he says, and anyways, reaction style videos, but giving good social commentary. So if you have people in your niche and maybe you don't even agree with everything they're doing, man, and if they're big, make sure they're pretty big. Put them on a thumbnail and say something controversial in the title. Darren knows you'll get clicks of people that are interested in that guy. And as long as you have something real valid to say, that's a great way to
I mean, we see Logan Paul in his cancellation here. There are people that have made 12 videos in a row. I don't know if I showed you. There's some people that have made 12 videos in a row of them just talking and putting his name in the thumbnail, and they are growing their channel incredibly that way. But then, if their plan is to if you look 6 months from now, if they start making videos about other things, who cares about that they made 12 videos about Logan Paul when now they're at 2 million subscribers? People will forget that was how they initially grow when he's, as long as you as I said, keep making consistent quality content long term. You just got to do what you got to do in today to get those views and clicks sometimes.
1,000%. This is something I've been thinking about because as I'm growing my YouTube channel, right, with shorts, guys, because shorts is everything. If you're listening to this right now, when this comes out, and probably even in a year from now, short form content is not going away. So right now with shorts, right? Like I'm talking about a big topic, God, where a lot of people have hesitations about, is the Bible real? Is God real? What about evolution? All these different things, right? So how can I fully tell someone such a complicated subject in 30 seconds and like really try to get my point across? So I have to realize, like with my stuff, in 30 seconds, most likely it's not going to change their life. Who knows? God could do it, I believe. But most likely it's not. But I just got to like find out what's working while still not like selling out, staying true to like what I'm trying to do. But then realize, okay, eventually if I could grow this YouTube platform big enough, which is going to happen, then I could do longer form content down the road that are going to be a little more in depth. They might not get the same views as the shorts, but they could be a good bridge. And I think Darren has a really good point to just start creating content. And it could be about something that you might not be talking about 6 months, but that'll get you that initial traction and following to just like, just do it.
Yeah, in content, you have to take advantage of the opportunities today. And today, the opportunity is you doing these shorts. But also, like, if you're just some random person that's going to be talking about God, let's say in your niche, not everyone is going to care what some random guy has to say. But if you're doing these reaction videos to videos that are already kind of viral or other people that are talking about it, then they will, understand, and that's how you'll honestly get some more clicks when you're showing off these videos that are already going viral. So you just got to figure out what's working and then take off with that. And once you have the following, then you can really do anything with it. Then you can start building businesses off that following in the niche. And just, sometimes you just got to figure out what works and hack the system, even though it's a game. It really is just a numbers game and just trying to keep snowballing and get a higher view count, follower count, even though it's sometimes it may feel a bit narcissistic in a way, which a lot of people do get, power hungry and egotistical and, big heads. But it's just, you got to just still stay true to yourself and know why you're doing this, look long term and everything.
Exactly. Like the numbers, like I try to always think, okay, they're human beings, but just how can I just keep growing it? And just like, even if I have 1 million followers, like on Instagram or whatever, and I don't, but like, so what? Who am I? I'm a normal person, but like, you just like, but it's still a goal just to keep growing it. And I think like, for example, Darren was talking about using other people. And I think this ties in a lot to like what Bradley's done in building brand, using other people that have social currency and followings and reacting to them, collabing with them. This isn't something we've talked too much about, collabing but like, a way you could collab without knowing them is reacting. So I was telling Darren, like something I'm experimenting with the short form content. It's like Darren said, if I just start saying like random stuff, like about God with no like good hook or something, people aren't going to be interested, but I could find something that a big YouTuber says controversial about God. I react to it. And then what I could do is add my 10 cents on the back of it for 10, 15 seconds. So then I'm actually bringing depth to that piece of content. So you're not just like, funny clip, like and subscribe. Because then it's like, okay, what did you add to it? But if you add a little something on the back end, then people say, oh, this guy's thoughtful. He knows a thing or two. I'm going to subscribe. And Darren actually recently had a banger on TikTok get like 500,000 views by doing a kind of reaction style video that was in his niche in real estate. He was adding a good commentary to it, and it was off someone who was like already had a clip that was crushing it, and it was just a win. Like,
yeah, you just got to keep figuring out what works, and yeah, that is basically collabing. I'm collabing with another creator, even though they might not know it, So I'm using their video and their name to get more views. I mean, you got to figure out what works, but then also you got to figure out if that's really going to build your brand or what also builds your brand, because you're not going to get a genuine following sometime if you're only showing off others. That's why it's good to add the commentary at the end, which you're doing, and why it's good. So then they actually get to know who you are a little bit more and give them a reason to actually follow you for you, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's a great topic.
1,000%. Yeah. And like what Darren and I try to do, we have a few different formats of like different styles of content. Mm-hmm. So then you're keeping it fresh. You might do one that looks like this kind of video, one that looks like that kind of video. But these different videos might appeal to different people, and you're having more chances at success by just changing up your content, but still creating some kind of system where it's like repeatable, and then you'll finally find something that works, and then you could ride that for 6 months and then change it up again.
Exactly. I kind of wanted to go back to the fitness niche real quick, since we're talking about that, because there's this one guy that's, you know, we talk about how Bradley Martyn really has changed the industry by building these huge gyms, or the Jew culture in LA. There's also Alpha Land. I don't know if you've heard of Alpha Land in Texas. Christian Guzman. He only has like 1 million subscribers, but I saw him on a podcast. They're doing like 10 million a month in revenue from his gym, and like his products and stuff. And they say that gym is just like ridiculous. So he's changed the space as well. I heard him on a pod, and he's just a super chill guy, seems normal. But yeah, they have a giant gym called Alpha Land, and Alpha Lead is their like clothing brand, which is huge. But then I also wanted to touch on this next guy, who's the up and coming fitness guy, who I think is doing an unreal job at changing this industry, this niche. And he has goals that are going to surpass, like, truly, because Christian Guzman and Bradley Martyn, I think they're in their 30s now, but this guy's like 21, and what he's already done in the last couple of years in the fitness space is mind-boggling. I don't know if have you heard of Jesse James West?
No, let me look him up.
Okay, Jesse James West. When I was at Zoo Culture about 3 years ago, he just moved to LA. He had 100,000 subscribers, and he moved to LA just to like basically meet Bradley, collab with him in a couple of videos, and try to grow. And he had 100K subs, and so I met him a couple times when I go to the gym there, because I watched his videos at the time when he had 100K, and I thought his videos were very engaging. He's a super entertaining guy. I mean, he's great personality and great guy overall, but then he just went super hard, 3 videos a week. And if you look at the views he's doing now, and this is in the fitness niche, but if you look at it, just his like thumbnails and titles, it's like he is going all in on like being a YouTuber. Like, look at this stuff, and it's all gym related, getting millions of views of video. But I heard him say on a podcast that like his goal is to basically be like the Logan Paul in the fitness space. He wants to get 20 million plus subscribers. He doesn't want to do it like Christian Guzman did, get 1 million subs, only build out the gym. He wants to go 20 million plus, and then like figure out, you know, content first with new guys in the space, aside from the guys who were on YouTube 8 years ago, like Bradley and Christian Guzman, building out these physical gyms. But Jesse James, like, if he hits 20 million in the fitness space, could you imagine then what kind of businesses he could build after he grows his following that big? I mean, he's changing the game. And these videos, even if you're not a fitness guy, these videos are incredible, super entertaining, very high energy, and they're just like, I think anyone would really like them.
Yeah, that is really insane, dude. How these young people are coming and just changing like industries with content and coming up products. And his thumbnails, I mean, dude, training with Ronnie, Coleman, and Jay Cutler. If you know anything about weightlifting, bodybuilding at all, these are legends. Ronnie Coleman is a beast, and Jay Cutler, you're talking about like the Michael Jordan and LeBron James and the Kobe Bryant of weightlifting.
And he's become good friends with them. And he like, actually, he's super like engaging, and like he makes the videos very funny. So these guys come out of their shell too, even though like Ronnie Coleman, he's like this older guy you think wouldn't have like the funniest personality, but he makes them laugh because he just clowns around with them, and it really makes for great content.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's why like you never ever can compare yourself to any other content creator. And I don't want to say this guy's name because we bring him up a lot. Dang it.
No. I thought we weren't going to talk about him.
It's like Voldemort. It's like Harry Potter. You're not supposed to. Freaking Mr. Beast. What he said.
The GOAT.
he said on that podcast you sent me with the Lex guy, he said, if anyone's going to be the next, and he's like, I hate to even say this because he's modest. These were like similar to his words. Anybody who's going to be the next Mr. B, quote unquote, Mr. Beast, it's not going to be by making content similar to me. It's going to be by innovating and doing their own thing. And when I look at this guy, Jesse James West, with his YouTube, if he looks at every other fitness influencer on YouTube and stuff, he would have the same kind of boring video format. But because this guy's innovating, he's able to get views that like more mainstream challenge-based kind of videos are doing. Like, it is insane. And that's why you like, it's good to learn from other people, but like, yeah, dude, innovating is where you're going to like change the game. Just doing your unique thing.
I mean, his videos are very YouTube style, like basically Mr. Beast style. Mr. Beast thumbnails, but in the fitness space where he's figured out, like challenges to do, collabing, as what we talked about with Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Chris Bumstead. That video is 3.4 million. That video, Tommy. If you watch any of them, you watch that one, or you watch the one he did with Liver King. I think was incredible. Surviving 50 hours with Liver King is a hilarious. That's a great video. He lived at his house for 2 days.
What?
That's a good one. Yeah, so just look at his most viewed videos. Like there's some really good videos in there. But yeah, so I mean, innovating, collabing as well. Liver King has over 11 million views, because you just got to figure out who's big in that certain industry and then do these giant videos with them. But it's super cool to see. And I mean, like I said, anyone would enjoy these even if you're not into fitness or anything, because they're just entertaining.
Bro, amazing. Well, actually, on that, I got something. On the fitness space, have you ever heard of Carnivore MD?
Sounds familiar.
He's been on Joe Rogan. He's on TikTok. Look at Carnivore MD on TikTok. Have you seen him? He's... come on, you've seen this guy.
I think I've seen him, but not like I haven't really looked into him that much.
Dude, I literally bought his supplements last week from seeing him on social media. So his thing is basically like animal-based diet. Basically, he's saying like organ meat is the most nutrient dense or rich food available to human beings. So like liver, kidney, spleen, all these kind of things, that's like what we were made to eat. So like basically, dude, I'm
just reading some of the comments on one of his videos right now. They're hilarious. One of them says, it's like the crackhead version of Liver King. Another guy says, my man has beef with every single thing except beef.
Dude, yes. Basically, he's saying like not everything you eat has like bioavailability, like for the nutrients. Like, so his thing is actually like vegetables, he's saying, have these like basically chemical defense, like compounds and stuff in vegetables. Like plants don't want to be eaten. And we've actually like grown things over time, like potatoes, and changed them so the bitterness is taken out of plants and stuff. Super interesting, fascinating. But there you go, bro. It shows you the power of social media. I myself literally purchased for my wife and I, it's like just this container. It's basically New Zealand grass-fed beef on regenerative farms, okay? And in a glass container, so you don't get the BPAs from the glass. And it's just, it's like 3 ounces of organ meat, and I take it every day. And George St. Pierre, the UFC legend, is actually the sponsor for the supplement, like, or one of his guys. Huge, dude. I'm not sponsored.
That's awesome. Wow. I mean, you gotta give an update on how that's going for sure,
dude. So I went on this it led me, and this is all through social media, guys. It led me on, and I hope my stuff is doing this for people too. It led me on this rabbit hole of like, whoa, are plants bad for you? Or like, because he's all about just eating meat, like organs and fruit and like raw honey and stuff and that kind of thing. But it's amazing, like the stuff you could actually learn from social media, and like and how like what he does, Carnivore MD, he provides just so much value and like information on all his videos, and he's actually a double board certified like medical doctor, and this is what you got to do in your videos, and I don't do this at all, and not enough. He basically weaves his story, and Gary Vee does this really well, his story into what he's doing, basically saying he went to medical school and he realized in medical school, they're just treating the symptoms. They're not getting to the underlying symptoms. So instead of helping people live a healthier life by eating better, working out, and these things, they would rather just give people pills for the problem. So, for example, a lot, like he says, most of the issues we face with heart disease, cancer, diabetes, most of the things we face are food related. Mm-hmm. You didn't know I was going to preach this morning, Darren. I'm coming in hot.
Oh, keep it coming. Keep it going.
So basically he's saying if we just change our diets, then that basically solves a lot of the issues we face as human beings on this planet with our health. So he weaved that into the story, into his video so well, and each video provides so much value that once I found out he has a supplement, and he actually barely talks about he has a supplement. I don't think I've ever seen a video where he actually mentions the supplement.
And that's the jab, 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 right hook technique right there. You know, he just makes great content, and it's not only just like talking about like what you're talking about, how, you know, you hear a lot of people talk about how gut health is super important for the mind, for the body. Obviously, everything that you ingest will come out on the exterior of you, you know, whether that's on your skin or in your brain. But you know, if you just keep offering value and figure out how to make engaging quality content around it, and like you said, he turns it into a cool story and with a great personality, then that's how you eventually gain a personal brand and a following, and then you can have your business that you're selling on the side or a product in the description with a little link, and people won't even like think that you're selling it, but once they get to know you and like you well enough, you'll sell a ton of it, you know. And that's kind of what Liver King does too. He makes millions a month from selling his stuff as well.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. I hope this episode was valuable. Like Darren said, like, subscribe, comment. We really appreciate hearing from you, and share this with a friend. Thank you so much for watching or listening to another episode today.